the process is pretty straightforward, even though it might not look that way firsthand. So open up a toy as much as possible to access your desired feature. What this looks like is you just kind of want to access the button. It's like, say this red button on the front of the goose is what we want to get to. We want to open up the toy as much as you can see here to access that actual pre-existing button. And then really you're just going to find a wire that runs from that pre-existing button to the battery pack. You're going to want to cut it. And then that's pretty much it for that first part of it. Then all you need to do is just drill in a hole for this little female end of an aux cord right here. This is just kind of what you see in phones, laptops, stuff like that, that you'll plug your headphones into. But basically, we drill a hole in, attach the female end of the aux cord right there, and then glue it in, and pretty much then you're just going to rewire it. So what you're essentially doing is you're rewiring that features wire from the pre-existing battery or the pre-existing button to the button that we will be actually attaching ourselves. So it's pretty much that simple. It's just a lot of rewiring to do. And it's a lot more flexible. So if you want to attach more than one button to access more than one feature, that's also very easy. It's just as simple as rerouting another features button to our button. So as you can see here on this toy at the bottom, we do have multiple jacks. All right, I'm gonna give a quick comparison. So this is a toy fan that we received from our school in one of our earliest semesters. It's basically just a fan that turns on once you press this orange button, and then it will stay on. So the way that they had it implemented here was, so they had a battery interrupter running through the bottom, and it would require you to turn it on with the orange button, and the battery interrupter would simply like keep it on, if that makes sense. So like the battery interrupter, once you insert it, it breaks the circuit, it's off. But if you press the red button now, you need to hold it down in order for the fan to stay on. Whereas with a hardwired switch, the hardwired switch would act just like the orange button. Whereas if you press it, it will stay on. So kind of just to simplify really quick, the battery interrupter will make it stay. You have to hold down the button. Our hardwired switches will make it so you press it and it stays on. It's a lot more simple in my opinion. It kind of just keeps it minimal interaction, so we're not demanding as much from a kid if they have really extreme disabilities by chance. So it's kind of just a preferred option. You'll see it a lot more. And we're kind of getting to the end here. I won't be dragging on for too much longer, but the toy adaptation process, this can be applied to a lot of toys. Like I said before, a lot of light up and dance toys you'll kind of see here. These are some of the toys that we've adapted in the past. And it's pretty much just most toys that can run off the press of a physical button, like these toys here, and possibly these are some toys that we're looking into right now, some possible toy cars that you can just connect a button to access their features. Slot car tracks, so if you guys know like those black figure-8 tracks, if you ever had those as a kid where the car just kind of runs at a constant speed when you press a trigger, we would reroute that trigger to an actual button. So you'd be able to hold down the button and have the car run, for example. But that's pretty much just a couple examples right there. All right, so other adaptations we use. It's not all buttons, and it's also not all this. So if you have any ideas on how to adapt a toy that we don't mention today, feel free to pitch it to us. We'll be happy to learn, and we'll be open to more possibilities for adaptation. But one thing that we also do is remove features from toys. So it's kind of like, so some toys might provide too much sensory overload for a child. In that scenario, we may disconnect certain audio or visual features. So it's kind of like controlled breaking of a toy. So if certain lights are too bright, we'll literally just cut a wire and just kind of make it so that it's a little bit less strenuous for the child in some cases. So yeah, I'm going to show a quick example of what I mean down here. So I donated a truck to the cause last semester. I knew going in that it was going to be very loud and bright because that's what these trucks are known for. And yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if you guys know what I'm talking about. If you guys had any of these trucks when you were kids, this is my brother's. This is just a commercial. It's, in my opinion, very loud. Let me know if you can't hear it. Uh-oh, there's no audio, apparently. I am sorry if that was just totally quiet for you guys. Um, it's loud. That's really all I need to say, I guess. There was like loud music in the background just to kind of emphasize that. That's what this kind of toy is. It's like a tough truck that you want to play around with. It has very loud sirens and stuff. If you guys if you guys want to know what I'm talking about, just look up Hess truck, and it's pretty. It's okay, Andre. I don't need to enable it. That was all I need you guys to listen to. But it's fine. It's just a loud truck. So we're planning on disconnecting the audio features from that. All right. Some toys may move independently on their own. This is pretty straightforward. So if you have like a dancing toy, it might roll off. And if you have lower motor function issues, then you might not be able to necessarily get up and walk after it. So if the toy goes out of your reach, then that's it. You need someone else to go after it and get it for you, or you'll need maybe an enabling device to go after it. And that's something that might be difficult for a child. So if we receive, say, a pullback car, if you guys know what it is, you pull it back slightly and it rolls off across the floor with a spring system in it, we will actually remove that system. We got that through a donation. And so we just kind of removed a small gear from it, and now it's just a normal toy car. So it's pretty straightforward. A lot of this that we do is either kind of just a button adaptation or removing specific functions that might be too much for a kid or not suitable. All right. I know I was kind of rambling on for a while. Sorry this didn't go as smoothly as I wanted to necessarily, but thank you guys for listening. And if you have any questions, please ask right now, I guess. Oh, you can access this presentation on, I'll send it in an email. I'll send the PowerPoint in an email, and the presentation will be uploaded to YouTube as well. But just to give a little bit of context, last semester, we kind of just threw some toys at some members, and we're just kind of like, okay, we're giving you a lot of creative freedom here, ergo you can do whatever you want. But we didn't really give a proper introduction to the members. So this semester our thought process was to kind of introduce this a little bit more structured to you and just kind of get you an idea of what we actually do. Do you have an idea yet which toys we'll be able to adapt from home and outdoors? Yes. We have a few toys. Madison should be able to tell you about those, but it's kind of just what we have from last semester. When? Give me one sec. So like just toys that we have from last semester, we got some from Goodwill, very similar to the toys that you saw before, light up and dance toys, lights and sounds. Some teach you music, some teach you counting, others letters, and stuff like that. So yeah, and so we're going to go into groups pretty soon. So if you would like to do the adapting toys from home group, just just ask Madison about it, I guess, and she'll let you know. Madison, did you want to give any notes about the toys we have this semester, or do you want to wait on that?
I can show a few of them so like everyone can see.
Sure.
Like I have some with me. There's this one which was sent back to us from the school that we donated it to because the aux port that goes in the back fell out, so the button couldn't be attached anymore. So that one needs to be fixed. A dancing unicorn that is very complex. It rolls, it rocks, it moves, it spins. There's lots of buttons, lots of lights.
It's got 3 different languages, I think, that one.
Yeah. We have the beat bell, which is something we've adapted before many times. There's big and small versions of this one. This one is very simple, just the button adaptation. We have this, which I brought in this semester. The toy itself is essentially just a button, but it's supposed to be like a bowl, so it's hollow. So we need to design some sort of top for it, basically just to turn the toy into a button itself. We have a bunch of other stuff too. Those are just a few things out of a whole box.
Yeah, we'll hopefully have a lot of options for you guys. If you're not interested in one toy, we may offer you another. And if you have any specific ideas that don't necessarily fall into a button or or removing a feature, pitch it to us. All right, so groups. The way we're going to do this is through breakout rooms. So let me see. I'm going to have to do this very carefully.
Yeah, hey, I'm Lindy. I'm also BME, biomedical engineering. I have a decent amount of experience with like soldering and stuff like that too. So
Cool.
Hi, my name is Sarah. I'm also in FYE and I'm hoping to transition to Aero. And in high school, I was in a couple engineering classes, so I know how to solder, but I think that's the only like applicable thing.
Hi, I'm JP. I'm also first year engineering, but I have like no experience working with stuff.
That's fine. If you can hold a screwdriver and unscrew something, you have the capability to learn. So we're really willing to teach. It might be hard, but I really think we can make some sort of progress, even if it's minimal. Can at least teach something. The most circuit experience I had, like coming into this club, was watching a friend wire some circuits and basically just knowing that a battery has a positive and a negative end. So like you don't need to know a whole lot. So like don't feel bad if you're like, I don't know, I just know that a battery has power. That's all you need to know. A lot of what we do is taking that power and just rerouting it. So instead of sending it to, say, the yellow button on this toy, we'll send the power to a different button that's big and easy for a kid to hit. So I'm going to show you guys one of the buttons that we typically use. These are the ones that tend to be very expensive, and that's why one of the other groups is hoping to 3D print our own. But it's a big button, my hand for comparison. But the cords to plug it in, at the end, we've attached an aux cord plug. And then we have the other end of the aux cord plug, which gets implemented into the toy so that you take the wires inside the toy that would normally go to this button and you attach it to these little tiny prongs on the inside. And then when you plug your button into here on the outside, your giant button now activates your toy instead of the button that was on the toy originally. So I don't know if we'll even be able to do this semester, but we drill holes in to implement those aux cord plugs. Not quite sure on the use of a drill yet. We'll see. We can't solder wires. We may be able to like, I know there's ways to just twist wires together and tape them that can be secure enough. Not as good as soldering, but still adequate to do what we need it to do. We have another type of button that we used last year. So this is just like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen just like a push light button. So normally you'd press this button and this whole thing would light up. It's just a light. You push it, it turns off. With this toy, there's no buttons on the toy. All you do is flip a tiny little switch on the bottom, it turns it on, and then it sings, dances, talks, whatever. There's no button for us to rewire a new button to. So with this button, we basically just made this, we added our own button. So you turn on the power switch, and then it allows this to be a button to turn the toy on and off. This one works differently because it stays on. The big red buttons are like, you press it, it activates it once, it does what it does, and then it's done. But this, you press it, it stays on until you press it again and it turns off. So these are a little bit harder to work with. They're not as sturdy as the other buttons, and on the inside, I could open it up, but that might take some time. I don't know how much time we have. But you basically take out where the light is inside and just put the positive, negative wires to where the light was.
So you guys don't know me. I'm Dr. Ann. I'm actually the faculty mentor for the club. But what I wanted to share with you, and Madison, I didn't mean to step on your
You're good.
One of the things that really irritates most of us is that red button can cost up to $65. Yeah. And these kids, their parents can't afford that. They're paying for therapy and special equipment and everything else. And students in the group that started it a few years back wanted to do this because they felt that the kids needed to have that opportunity to be able to play like other kids. So we've really been looking for another way to make a button that'll work. And then the other trick is actually the teacher, Madison, I don't know if you saw the note that Cooper got, but the teacher has some toys that need to be worked on. And so we do have some of that going on right now too. And so Madison, you might want to tell them a little bit about who these go to locally and then what we're doing remotely as well.
All right, yeah, that's a good idea. So in normal years, don't know if it'll happen this year, but we would take these adapted toys to the school, same school that this one came from. And the school is in Lafayette, and it serves all of the disabled children of the greater Lafayette area. Mm-hmm. So it's called GLASS. And we've communicated with the teacher, the kids love the toys. That's where our toys would normally go. We don't even know if the kids are in school right now. Going to the school to bring the toys probably won't happen considering the situation. Right. But something else that we do have available that kind of came to us on a whim this year is a teacher from Philadelphia?
No, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. She works with outreach and helping kids with I think visual and audio disabilities.
Right.
Or auditory disabilities.
Right.
So she was looking for help to learn how to adapt toys for her own kid who is, I think, visually, auditorily, and developmentally delayed. So she reached out to her coworkers, and they are all also very interested in what we do.
Yeah, they do outreach for that school, so they're really in touch with some of the kids who aren't actually potentially in school. So.
Yeah, so our hope is that we can work with them to teach them how to adapt toys, or send them the things they would need, or they send us toys that we adapt. We're not sure how it's going to go yet, but we're really looking into helping them help the children that they help.
Yeah, and Cooper got a letter today too from the local lady, and she said that a lot of her students are home, and what she's been trying to do is provide them with the child's favorite toy and allow them to play with it at home and interact with it. And we're hoping to get her on here so that she can describe a little bit more about the kids and some of the things that they run into. Madison, you might want to share a little bit about our trip over there. We got one in just a couple of weeks before school shut down, so that was a bonus.
Yeah, so when you go into this classroom in Lafayette at the school, it's full of colors, and it's very different from a normal classroom. There's a giant swing inside the room. There's buttons on the walls. There's textural things everywhere. There's very few chairs because a lot of these kids are in wheelchairs. In the hallway outside, it's full of wheelchairs and walkers and other kind of physical aids. So this classroom is very different from a typical classroom. But these kids really love the toys that we make for them. The teacher talked to us. She told us about how excited they get about these toys. A lot of the difficulties they have is with playing with normal toys. They can't turn them on, they can't press them, they're there, they look at them, they can't do anything. So we're really making them accessible to these kids. And these kids love it. They get really excited, but with a lot of them not being in school, these toys are only accessible to them at school. So
Well,
we're
not
hoping-
right now. She's broken the rules
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, teachers are trying to get toys to students, and hopefully we can help with that somehow. I had something else, but I don't remember.
But you were kind of thinking about how to go ahead and actually get some of these toys modified by the people that are interested, right?
Mm-hmm. So we have to pick a day to hand out toys and tools. We need to order just some small screwdriver sets, I think, from Amazon. So you guys can at least open up the toys, look at them. And then, the one-on-one toy adapting. I don't know if everyone will get a chance this semester because I think I'm the only one doing one-on-ones. I don't know if Quinn wants to or not. But
Quinn? I don't know.
I can do whatever you need me to.
all right.
Okay. Great.
We're really trying to limit in-person interaction. So basically I've put together a sign-up sheet that I'll send out to you either this week or next week, maybe after we get the toys to you. Not sure when yet, but it'll be times when basically you sign up for a time to meet with me with your toy and your tools, and we kind of go through whatever you have planned, what you think you should do. If we can actually do things, cut the wires, put them together, we can do that. I don't think we'll be able to solder, like I said, but we have a lot of electrical tape that we might as well use. Drilling is a little iffy, so I don't know if we'll be able to put in the aux ports, but we can set everything up for them so that when we do have access to use the tools we normally need, hopefully all these toys can be done really quick. But the one-on-one meetings will be, I don't know, maybe an hour long because there's not a whole lot we can do. But you can also ask questions about toys or propose new ideas. It'll be important that we clean everything before and after. Everything's being very regulated. So obviously wear a mask. I'll bring hand sanitizer. The toys and tools will all have to be wiped down. We're not supposed to even exchange toys while we're working together. So it's kind of just going to be looking at it, and I kind of just look over your shoulder and tell you if you can or can't do what you want to do to the toy.
I have a couple ideas about that, Madison. I think we can talk about that.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a learning experience. We're going to figure it out as we go.
Mm-hmm.
There are 15 of us. I think we have enough toys. I haven't counted all of them, but we have a lot of toys. I will also make a sign-up sheet for you to put your name for what toy you would like to work with. And we'll try and get you that toy if possible. I'll put pictures on there too so you can see what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't just say Elmo and you're like, well, what's the Elmo do? But
well,
yeah.
The other thing that Cooper and I were talking about is actually he's gonna put tomorrow's the day of giving, and if you know of anybody who might want to contribute a few dollars towards a toy, we're gonna have some links available. We're not making a huge splash because it's COVID and we're sure the money needs to go elsewhere. But if somebody in your family or your friends or whatever decide they want to donate a toy, $15 or $20 will do it. And then we'll have a few more toys to actually adapt. So that might be something to think about. So we've been slowly getting them in and donating them ourselves and things like that. But you guys are also welcome to do that. They're not that hard to adapt. I think Madison will tell you it's actually fairly straightforward. So, and you need to think about the kids. That's really what we're doing it for, is these kids so that they can be pretty normal. And with Christmas coming, we might be able to pull together a few of them and get them over to the school.
Something else I wanted to ask if anyone has any experience working with people or children with disabilities. I know a lot of people do Special Olympics at their high school.
Yeah, I do.
Or-
I did Special Olympics, and then I also was we called it, I don't know what they call it here, but it was I was a peer intern. So basically a period or two during the day, I would go work with the EAs in the special ed department.
Oh, cool. And what's your major, Sarah?
I'm in FYE.
Oh, okay, perfect. So technical who's interested in the kids. That's really great.
Yeah.
And where's Caroline? I just saw a note from her. Adaptive dance team. That sounds great.
Yeah, I like got a choreographed dances and we performed at like sidelines and stuff with all
Okay.
kinds of different students.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you've interacted with kids that have issues that they have to work around. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Very neat. Anyone else? This sounds great.
I was in Hope Club for a couple years, which is a club at our school that we we stress creating like social opportunities for children
Okay.
with disabilities.
No wonder why you're here.
So,
Okay.
So yeah, stuff like that. So we'd like go to the movies together or like bring groups together to go to football games, and we did like trunk or treat events and stuff like that.
That's cool. That's cool. So you guys understand what I'm saying. If we go ahead and put out a link, go ahead and share it with your family and friends. If they want to kick in a few dollars, it's a good thing, and then we can borrow more tools. I can't speak. So Suresh Gupta says, I can't speak right now, but I participated in an organization called Via West. Let's see if we can get the rest. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is a long one. I attended and took care of participants with special needs and disabilities and made activities more approachable and accessible. You know what? These experiences are fantastic because you guys are able to relate to the kids a little better than if you hadn't. And even if you haven't, you're here for the right reasons, I think, personally. And Madison, you know, I'm kind of wondering if we had enough toys for everyone to kind of take one on. You know, when you do your one-on-one, you could have your toy and they could have theirs, and you can sit, 10 feet apart or whatever and work on them together, and you can give pointers and stuff like that. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, anything just working one-on-one, sharing advice, actually being able to see what each other's doing a little bit better than what we can show just over a video call.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a question. It's about right now. Sorry, I'm Amelia.
Okay. We're looking for the yellow box.
Yeah, for some reason it's not boxing me, and I don't know why.
Well, I see it now. Okay.
I'm here though. Hello. One of the issues you have right now is tools. What kind of tools do you need? Because I have tools with me.
Oh, tools? Go ahead, Madison. You've got the list.
We have drills, soldering irons. We have the aux adapters. We have batteries. Our biggest limitation on what we have is screwdrivers. We literally have about 4 screwdrivers right now, and we can't hand that out to 16 people.
No.
So,
do you want us to let you know if we have tools that will probably work, or do you want to like give us a list of what you would send out in the kit, and then we can tell you if we have that?
No.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
How many?
Yeah, like I brought tools with me as well. And another thing that could possibly work is like there's the bike fixing kits around campus. So I mean, worst case scenario, people could like use those to unscrew tools or like use those as tools for the toys. So
remember with these is sometimes you have a standard size screw, and sometimes you have those tiny little screws, and there's hexes, as well as your standard Spade and Phillips. So I mean, you've got a lot of differentiation. The real issue we also have is power tools. If we start loaning power tools out, they're expensive, and we really haven't had that much money put into the club. So if you have something and you can use it, then I'm sure Madison can tutor you on how to use it. Or if I'm around, I'd be happy to do the same. And Olivia, are you MET?
Yeah, I am.
Great. You know I am too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we might be able to get some space over there if you talk to Professor Denton. I bet she could fix you right up.
I can talk to her. I've been emailing her recently, so I can send her an email.
Oh, that's right. You were one of our counselors or our moderators for
Yes.
the summer program this year. I forgot Olivia was in there. I'm like, gosh, she looks familiar. Okay. Oh, that's great. That's great. I'm glad you're.
I'll reach out to her about lab space. Is there anything specific we're looking for?
There you go, Madison.
Like
The tool, actually, we had a problem. There's a cabinet they were able to get over in Stewart, and the problem is that the cart doesn't fit there, and the cart has a lot of the heavy duty tools on it. So you know what, Madison, you might be able to work it out with Olivia if you show her how to do the audio plugs and do some of the soldering. Maybe anybody could work on a toy and get it wired up and taped, and then she could go ahead and solder it with maybe herself or one other person. And then we get them done before Thanksgiving. I think that would be fantastic. And
that would be another option. If we get everything individually, set it up, and then pass it on to someone who has the capabilities to finish the toy.
Exactly. And if you make Olivia your point person, you can go ahead and take care of that right away. And I know she's trustworthy because she was great with the kids this summer. We did middle school virtual STEM fair, so it was great. We had a good time.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'll send out, or I'll have Cooper send out an email to everyone who is here. I wrote down all your names, and I'll send out a sign-up sheet for what toy you would want to work on, sign-up sheet for one-on-one work time, and a form to see what tools you have, if you have any with you. I think what I was planning or thinking originally to send to everyone is just minimally screwdrivers and maybe wire cutters. Honestly, you could cut wires with scissors. But yeah, I'm thinking minimally screwdrivers. Get everyone some screwdrivers so they can open the toy, look at it, plan, trace the wires, because honestly, some of these toys get a little complex, and figuring out just what wire goes where can take a while. So yeah, I'll send out an email to everyone with all that information.
Now, when we send that link out to everybody, and if you send it to any family or friends, or put it on, a Snapchat page or whatever you do, and someone asks you, oh, what kind of toys do you need? Madison, can you explain that real quick before Cooper pulls us back?
So the toys we're looking for are, what we have the most experience with adapting is electronic stuff, obviously. Things with buttons, one main function.
Aren't most of them Fisher Price? Isn't that the name on it? Or the other names?
Fisher Price. Fisher Price. We have this Elmo that's just kind of, I don't know what this is.
He's like a stuffed Elmo with a speaker box inside. We can wire it up too. Those are kind of crazy.
This Goose was some weird.
I've never seen that one before. That's kind of crazy.
This one's from a weird brand. This one had some interesting functions. So even though it didn't have any buttons, like how I explained, we had to use a different kind of button because it's just the tiny switch on the bottom. It did have a function that if you touched its neck or like picked it up by its head like this, it would start screaming, put me down, monster, you're choking me. It was ridiculous, and it would go like, ah, like it was choking. And obviously we don't want kids to hear this Goose screaming at it, calling them a monster. So we figured out, we found a trigger for that inside and disabled that function. So that's an example of a function that sometimes needs to be removed.
Yeah.
I don't even know why that was originally intended for the toy.
Well, that would be really bad for a severely disabled child, especially if they've heard crummy things in their life,
Yeah.
That. So Fisher Price, I think, I forget what the ages were on there. It's like, I
think it was like kindergarten through high school age, or like 20, up to age 20, I think it was.
Mm-hmm. There's, Yeah, the classroom that Rachel is in, she has the little kids. They're like pre-KK. And then we figured once we get that kind of rolling better, which hopefully we will after the next year or so, we'll go into start moving our way into the higher grades. I've had a couple people ask me if we can modify games for them, and some of that might be something that someone's interested in. So if you are, let Madison know, and when that opportunity comes across our table again, we can hit you up for that.
Also, if you guys have like ideas, or if you have like a toy at home that you could get your hands on, I know some people don't live far. If you're like, oh, I have this toy at home, this would be awesome, I don't use it anymore, I have a great idea of something new we could do to adapt it with, like tell somebody. We want to do new things. We want to do more than just put a button in it. It's effective, but we want to branch out from that. We want to really diversify what we can do.
Right.
And what the kids have access to as well.
Yeah.
I also saw things about, like, a lot of kids have like wooden puzzles, but kids with disabilities can't pick up the pieces very well. So there's methods to like create handles for the wooden pieces. So kids who have a little bit more dexterity can do a puzzle. Because a lot of these kids tend to be intelligent. They just can't show it or can't move their bodies well. So things like that too. Not everything has to be electronic. That's just what we've done so far. Does anybody know of like other toy adaptations? Like, have you seen anything, or just any random ideas? Like, I don't know. Just looking for more input. Cooper's probably going to pull us back in a few seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have a PowerPoint for this, so let's just see how this goes. I didn't want to make one because I figured this could be a little bit more relaxed. So, hello. I recognize all of your names from Google Forms and Boilermaker and other stuff. So, could we just do some icebreakers maybe? Give me your name, your major, and let's do where you are right now, like if you're on campus or at home or something. So I guess I'll start really quick. So my name is Cooper, as I'm sure you've heard a million times. I'm president of this club. My major is I'm a mechanical engineering junior, and I'm currently at home in Florida. So let's do Kate next.
Yes. Hi, I'm Kate. I'm a sophomore in mechanical engineering, and I'm from the Philippines right now.
Kylie.
Hi, I'm Kylie. I'm a freshman in pre-medicine, and is that the last question? Oh, I'm on campus. There we go.
And Anna.
Hello, I'm Anna. My video is not working, sorry, but I am a freshman. I am in landscape architecture, and I am on campus right now.
Interesting. I always get excited when I hear something that's not engineering because it's different. Okay, wait, are you on a different time zone right now?
Yeah, it's like 7:30 a.m.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. Thank you for coming, I guess.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I had to anyway.
All right. So this one's going to be pretty chill, and it's pretty much just going to be our outreach group. It's kind of just like, so we've been in talks with some people from Pennsylvania, some people from literally down the street of Purdue, who would like us to adapt, or just to kind of give them some tips on how to adapt some toys. So this is going to be our outreach group, and we're going to tell them how to adapt toys. Yeah, we'll just kind of do like we'll give them like a step-by-step process, what tools are needed, and I'm going to kind of walk you through all this stuff. I know half of us here are new, which is totally fine. I'll give you guys, let's see. Let's try something. I'm going to give you guys an example toy, and I want you to pitch what your first thoughts are on adapting. Like, you don't need to give me like everything I just said, like a step-by-step thing. But just like, what are your thoughts on it? You can Google it if you want on your own. You don't just need to look at what I'm sharing. But this is basically a beat bell mini. We've adapted 2 of these. They're very simple. It's similar to the one Madison showed, but like a lot simpler. It's kind of just like a bobblehead where you press down the top and then it lights up and sings. And then you got a little switch down here to turn on and off. So like, what are your thoughts on this, I guess? Like, and if you need any technical specs or if you want like any specifics on how the toy looks on the inside or anything like that, feel free to ask. That's kind of open-ended right now. And if you want this specific one, it's like a beat bell mini. I'm not sure if I emphasize that. It's like there are bigger ones is my point.
You mean aside from like connecting the big button to it, like last semester?
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, I forgot you were here for that. I forgot you were here for this specific toy.
Yeah.
It's all good. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, where do you think you'd connect the button, I guess, for example? Kate, don't answer. You've done it. I guess. Like Anna or Kylie, what do you think, I guess?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was just like, is that like red thing, like do you have to switch it or is it a button that you like press down?
It's a switch, just like on and off switch.
Okay. So like, is that something where you can like add that button if you like take it apart and like connect the wires?
With an on and off switch, what we typically do is we kind of just ignore it, if that makes sense. Like we'll leave it on, and as long as our button isn't like pressed down or anything, it really doesn't do anything anyway. So we typically ignore the on off switch, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So it does something when you press on the head?
Yeah.
So you'd switch that to be a button?
Yeah, pretty much. Let me let's do a quick, see what this video is, if it's like a toy review or something. Let's see what these kinds of toys are. So this is kind of what I was thinking we can do. We can look into different toy reviews and stuff like that. I know I said it's an on and off switch and that toy just did something when you flip the switch, but it's like, it does that when you turn it on.
Okay.
And then that's it. It doesn't do anything again.
Okay.
But this is happening because you press down on the head. Let me see if I can I do audio now? Now that I have less people, I feel less pressure to fiddle with stuff. Okay, never mind. I don't think he's saying anything important anyway. Well, I'll fix this later. But yeah, basically just push down the head. It's got a little spring in the center. I wonder if I can show you guys that. So my thoughts on this were, we would get a toy, and if any details we didn't know, we could either Google them or ask this person what the toy is like. So we can say like, hey, what does that switch do? Does it stay on when you press it, or will it turn off immediately? Like, do you need to hold it down? So these are just kind of the processes I was hoping to like kind of emphasize. So I'm glad we're asking these questions, like, because I know what this toy is like. I'm kind of serving the role of the person right now. If that makes sense. So I can answer these specific questions about the inside of the toy, and general things we can Google. Where is? Sorry. There it is. So I'm going to show you what the inside of the toy looks like. There it is. So this is a decapitated beat bell. Oh, that's one thing you'll see a lot of. You'll see a lot of toy mutilation. And Kate, if you want to pitch in anything, I'm sorry, I like cut you off
Oh,
before.
You're good.
But yeah, this is kind of, I think that may have been when we already had it adapted. You'll see the little spring that just kind of allows the head to bobble up and down. But yeah, this is kind of the interior. I think this might be after we did this specific adaptation. Let me see. These are just a lot of examples. If you guys have any questions on any of this stuff, feel free to ask. Oh, all right. So I thought there was a video on this. I guess not. But this is just kind of the inside. If you were curious. Oh wait, no, this is a video. Yes. Yeah, so it's already connected. We got the blue button attached through the top here. And yeah, so what do you guys think? I guess I just spoiled it. But if you had to put this into words, what we did, what do you think?
I don't know if this is a dumb question, but did you put the head back on?
Yes, we did.
Okay. You're like, that might be kind of weird.
No, like we drilled a hole in the top of the beep bell. We put the audio jack thing there, and then we ran the wires up through that.
Okay.
Like you couldn't see it, but I think there's like should be a headphone jack like behind here.
Yeah.
Just telling you. But yeah, like what do you think? You guys got any notes or anything? So I guess So I guess since you guys haven't done this before, I'll say like some required tools. So it just basically boils down to the process that I mentioned before. We would need a soldering iron, let's see, some safety glasses. We would recommend having a little spool of solder for the families to have. I wouldn't say you need a lot, especially for this kind of toy. It's just a general thing, right? Dab of solder at the top with wiring. And yeah, you'd probably need some wire cutters, some screwdrivers to open up the toy itself, all that good stuff. But like, what would you guys describe as, like, what did we do? What did we do? I'll just boil it down to that. And then I'll stop asking questions.
We took off the head.
Good, yes.
You made it easier to press instead of like having to get the head pressed down. The button is much easier to press.
Good, exactly. Sorry, I just got text. But yeah, I mean, it is basically just as simple as that. Take off the head, cut some wires, and reroute that to another button. So if I were to take this off, and this is before we cut the wires, if I'm remembering this correctly, there should have been like a small little sensor at the top that would have told you when you were to press it. So we disconnected that sensor and we made the new sensor the button, if that makes any sense. But this was just kind of like, I guess, a quick little test or something to see what you guys thought of something. This is a very simple toy to go forward with. And I kind of wanted to introduce you guys to one of the toys that we got from a parent in Pennsylvania who is interested in what we do. So she has, hold on, the Big Beep Bell. Mm-hmm. So Madison described this as simple before. She actually held it up. I don't know why she described it as simple. I honestly think it's kind of tricky. Don't let that scare you, but I do think it is kind of tricky. Let me see if I can find the specific one I was thinking of, because I don't think this might be it. Anyway, this should be it. So it's got a few different features than the normal Beep Bell. So actually, wait, no, this is definitely a different one. Hold on, give me one sec. I know it's like, here it is, I think. Yeah, this is it. So it doesn't have like certain things on it. It's actually got a few features. So it has this little microphone button on the bottom, as you can see. And how it works, I'm pretty sure, we only played with it a little bit last semester before the quarantine. We press this button, and then you could speak into this little microphone in its head, and then it plays it back to you in like a high-pitched voice, I think. So I thought that was really cool. We've never done anything like that before. And then it's got, I think, a number counting, a counting button and a music button. So it's got a few things it could do, a lot more than the one I showed you before. And we do actually have this toy on us, again, like Madison showed to us before. But if we were to, so if we have any specific questions, I can pass it along to her in between meetings and stuff like that. So what I've been pitching to parents and families is, so we'll give you a step-by-step list and we'll give you tools required. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So we're going to try to be as involved with the parents once we get into later toys as we can. And if anyone has anything on that, we'll try to work with them as we go through. Anyway, so yeah, my thought with this might have been maybe including more than one jack. Although my concern with the microphone is, like, if we interrupt the switch, will it allow us to record still? Like, I don't know if it's on a timer to allow you to record and it turns off or something like that. So, like, I have questions that I want to ask Madison. Is there anything that you guys think you'd want to ask, if that makes sense?
This is probably something that you could answer, but like, since there's like 3 different buttons, do you have to have 3 big buttons, or like do you usually like connect them into one?
Ideally we would have like some kind of button that can do more than one thing, but right now we just kind of have it to one feature, one button, so it would be 3 separate jacks and 3 buttons.
Okay.
And let me see. I want to make a Google Doc for us or something like that to talk about the toy and jot down some notes and questions we have. Since we only have 10 minutes left, I think I'm going to leave that for next meeting, just a specific thing like that. So what do we think? Like maybe 3 buttons or something like that if we want to access all the features.
And does the head still do that like thing? Would you have to have a separate head?
Like, you mean does it bobble around?
Yeah.
I actually don't know. I think it just sways, but I'll write that down.
Okay.
And let's see. So we want to know how the microphone feature works. And it's okay if we need to sacrifice a specific feature, because sometimes toys have a lot and we can't realistically do it with, say, 1 button or 1 switch. So don't, like, if we do need to sacrifice something for the sake of getting this toy out there, that's fine. We've done it before. And if we ever want to come back to it, the school's right down the street. So we can literally just go there if we really want to down the line and get it back. So,
what does a soldering iron do?
I'm glad you asked. Soldering iron is basically just, how do I describe it? It's basically, you hold it like, almost like a pen or a pencil, and the end of this is connected to like a wire, it's powered, and it goes very, very hot at the tip. So what you want to do is, the way wires are connected, is you kind of have like a thing, you essentially want to glue wires together with metal. That's essentially what soldering is. And the way you melt the metal onto the wires is with a hot soldering iron.
Got it.
So, yeah. That's basically, it's not too scary or complicated, just when you get used to it. I actually want to test something else right now. Let's see if I can you guys, I just activated the annotate feature on my screen. I think you guys might be able to do it on yours. Could you draw by chance on this toy? If you wanted to. I see a smiley face.
Oh, I'm using like a tablet. I don't know if I can.
Oh, no. Oh. Okay, wait. So Kylie and Anna, does it work for you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And Kate, you said it probably won't, I guess?
Oh, wait. No, maybe there's a feature. Oh, there we go.
Yay. Okay, awesome. So, like, I thought this might be cool if we wanted to like have a diagram of something open, like, oh, maybe we could include a jack, right? I don't know. I'm trying to draw here, down by the foot, or up in the head, something like that.
Okay.
Kind of wanted to play around with that. I'm actually really glad that worked. So we can have a few things open like that, and then maybe I can screenshot them and we can save them for later if we have any specific notes.
It would probably be easier if someone they could take a picture of like all the sides of the toy too, so we can like see everything.
Oh, that's a good idea.
We can't see the bottom or anything like that. That might make it easier.
That's a good idea. That might be something. Let's do that right now as a quick exercise. See, this lasts 5 minutes. Like, so when we get a toy, I mean, I guess I could come in if we really wanted to with all of the views, but let's see if we can like find different views of a toy based on a Google search. So I think you guys can take sharing from me. I'm not entirely sure. I think I gave that permission. Just if you find another view of the toy, let me know. It might be good to actually look up a toy review too, because they like fiddle with it and stuff.
Oh no.
What happened?
It was just playing very annoying music. Wait.
It turns out this toy is like a lot more common than we thought it would be. Like, we kind of just bought it on a whim, I think. One of the older officers did. But then like we looked it up and it seems pretty popular. Like, it's a Fisher Price toy. And then I went to Goodwill and they just had one there, and that's where we got the big one. So it's like, this is a pretty common toy. So if we were to get this done, that'd be a pretty cool start. Something that everyone has.
Uh-oh, my computer's about to die. I'm gonna try to run and get my charger, but if I leave, that's why.
Okay, cool. I was gonna shut it off in turn off the break rooms in 5 minutes anyway. I'm really glad that this group is kind of small because Madison has like 17 people in hers. A lot of people are interested in like actually doing the toy work, and I don't blame them, but like it's a lot of people for one call.
Are we allowed to join, like, because the button project also kind of interested me, but I wasn't sure if you could like
No, yeah,
do both.
Yeah, you're welcome to like bounce back and forth. If you want to switch, like say you want to switch right now, I would leave the break room real quick and then transfer you over. So that's no problem.
But would you be able to do like both? Or
like throughout the semester?
Yeah. Or
yeah, like you wanted to work on button one meeting and this another or something? Sorry,
yeah, I guess it'd be pretty hard to like bounce back and forth.
That's like fine from like our side of things, as long as you're cool with it. You might not be caught up on everything, but I think that's fine. I think it should be pretty easy to jump in if you get the gist of what we're doing. Yeah, I'm trying to be as flexible as I can this semester. Feel free to jump back and forth. Anna, did you come back? I thought I saw something on yours.
Yeah, I'm back.
Cool. Let's see. While I have a couple minutes left, did you guys, I was thinking maybe group chats might work well for each group. Do you guys want to do something like that?
Yeah.
We don't have to if we don't think it'll be useful. But.
GroupMe is a good one.
Sweet. So I'll make a small subgroup for us. All right. Hope you guys all liked your groups though. If anything was rough, it was a little rough for my group, but it's fine. We're still working out kinks and stuff like that. One person did ask me in my group, if you guys want to switch between groups during the meeting, all you have to do is just let me know. I can move you manually from one group to another. Also, if you guys just like to bounce back and forth between meetings for specific groups, that's fine. Just let us know. Don't just leave us hanging, especially if you have like a toy on you or something, let us know. Just, feel free to bounce back and forth between whatever projects you want. I know a couple people were interested in like say button and virtual toy adapting, so that's totally fine. And I'm going to share my screen real quick just so I can ignore my Google search for that toy. And just say, yeah, that's pretty much it. We have a optional feedback survey. If you guys are interested in that, you don't need to fill it out. It's just if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, tell us how we're doing, stuff like that. No big deal. Thank you guys for coming out though. This is our first official meeting of the semester. We're gonna try doing group stuff fully for future meetings and all that good stuff.